Peace everybody, back with another video. This is what we know about the audio of CNN host Chris Cuomo's shocking conversation with Michael Cohen that Tucker Carlson plans to reveal. Well, looks like Chris Cuomo got himself into a little bit of hot water this time. And things are not looking good for Chris Cuomo right now. Also, there's Michael Cohen as well. So I don't know what Tucker Carlson is going to reveal this week coming up, but whatever it is, it better be something big that we all need to know about. Fox News host Tucker Carlson told his audience on Friday that next week he intends to share details of a conversation that former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen secretly taped recorded with CNN's Chris Cuomo. So, Fox News host Tucker Carlson, he has told his audience, and this was on Friday, that next week, in other words, this week coming, he intends to share details of a conversation that former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen secretly taped, recorded with CNN's Chris Cuomo. So, what was the conversation between those two? We don't know right now, but Tucker Carlson is going to reveal whatever it is. This tape is one of many that have been floating around for some time, but have never aired publicly. Carlson said before, noting with a chortle, that Cuomo, who is the brother of New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, was captured on at least one of them. Alright, so this is one of the many tapes that has been floating around, and it was never aired publicly because the fake news media, they don't want to reveal nothing. All the fake news media wants to do is keep everything hidden away from the American people, because all they care about is the chaos and destruction. And now whatever is on this tape, I'm hoping whatever it is, it'll come out. Cohen and the governor's brother had a pretty shocking conversation. Bottom line, Chris Cuomo is not the person he pretends to be on CNN. And there is more. This is a developing story. We'll have all of it for you next week. Tune in, Carlson said, as video played of Cuomo lifting weights at a gym. Well, Chris Cuomo claimed that he had the coronavirus. No, he did not. It's now that we know that part of it was lifting weights at a gym, because he took vacations for a long time so he can go to the gym and work out. Alright, so now, and it has Cohen and the governor's brother had a pretty shocking conversation. Bottom line, Chris Cuomo is not the person he pretends to be on CNN, and there is more. So, if Chris Cuomo is not who he thinks he is on CNN, then who is he then? And of course, Tucker Carlson said this is a developing story. We'll have all of it for you next week. Tune in. Although the tape has yet to leak publicly, Cuomo was pressed to talk about it in the summer of 2018 after the FBI seized materials from Cohen, who later that year pleaded guilty to charge of tax fraud, bank fraud, and campaign finance violations for hush money payments to two women during the 2016 campaign who claimed to have had affairs with President Trump. Trump has denied those relationships. Yes, because Trump never had an affair. He never cheated on Melania. And this is why now that part of it is coming out now, that the Cohen, who later that year pleaded guilty to charges of tax fraud, bank fraud, and campaign finance violations for hush money payments to two women during the 2016 campaign who claimed to have had affairs with President Trump. So Michael Cohen has really done a lot of damage to President Trump. That's why when you got Stormy Daniels in the middle of it, and there's another woman too, I don't know her name, but then of course you got to drag Michael Avenatti in the middle of all of it too, to have them to pay him to say all this stuff. On July 24th, Cuomo played on his show, Cuomo Primetime, a recorded conversation between Trump and Cohen about buying the rights to former Playboy model Karen McDougal's story about her alleged affair with Trump. So Cuomo had to go and play this on a recorded conversation between Trump and Cohen about buying the rights to former Playboy model Karen McDougal's. Now, I don't know who Karen McDougal's is. I've never seen her. Don't know anything about her. I only know about Stormy Daniels, but this Karen McDougal's, I never heard of her, about her alleged affair with Trump. So apparently Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, they have lied, saying, oh, Trump had an affair with them. And of course, you know, Chris Cuomo's right in between all of this mess. The Wall Street Journal reported a day later that federal investigators obtained 12 tapes belonging to Cohen, including one of his conversations with Cuomo that was nearly 2 hours long. In that conversation, Cohen talked about arranging a $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels in exchange for her silence about the affair she claims to have had with Trump in 2006. I did it on my own, Cohen said, in regard to the payment. So now they're trying to say, oh, that it was reported a day later that federal investigators obtained 12 tapes, and they all belong to Michael Cohen, the former lawyer of President Trump. And on one of his conversations with Cuomo that was nearly 2 hours long. Now, the arranging payment was a $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels in exchange for her silence about the affair she claims to have had with Trump in 2006. I did it on my own, Cohen said, in regard to the payment. So how can Stormy Daniels have an affair with Donald Trump if he's married to Melania Trump? Figure that one out. Melania Trump and Donald Trump have been married for a very long time. Yes, his other marriages failed in that, but he loves Melania Trump. And so now Chris Cuomo and Michael Cohen are trying to get out of this mess, knowing doggone well they're going to do anything they can to destroy Donald Trump's re-election. And they know that, and obviously Chris Cuomo and Michael Cohen, they have been lying this whole time. Rudy Giuliani, who became Trump's personal attorney during the Russia investigation, appeared on Cuomo's show a couple of days later, praising the host for how he conducted himself. The former New York City mayor said he could make the judgment because he read the transcripts. Yeah, so Rudy Giuliani read the transcripts. Who became Trump's personal attorney, because that's who he's representing, during the Russia investigation, appeared on Cuomo's show a couple of days later, praising the host. Now, Rudy Giuliani is a Republican, and of course Chris Cuomo is a Democrat himself, and that he had played that tape on his show. Alright, so the former New York City mayor said he could make the judgment because he read the transcripts. So yes, Rudy Giuliani did read the transcripts. So now it's up to Rudy Giuliani to make the decision, because Chris Cuomo was caught on one of those 12 tapes that he got himself into. You did exactly the right thing. In fact, Chris, thank you for doing it because you question him the way a lawyer would question him, and you got everything out of him. Giuliani said, I couldn't have done a better job of getting him to corroborate my client's statement than you did. And he did it 3 or 4 times. So so Rudy Giuliani thanked Chris Cuomo for playing that on his show, on Chris Cuomo Prime Time. And we know Chris Cuomo's the biggest liar of all, and he can't be trusted. But Giuliani did thank him. He said, I couldn't have done it a better job of getting him to corroborate my client's statement that you did. And he did it 3 or 4 times. So Michael Cohen had to confess either way. So Chris Cuomo had to record the conversation and everything. Giuliani also argued that Cuomo was released from the off-the-record agreement, he said, he made with Cohen. He put it on the record by taping the darn thing. I don't know that word, by lying to you, Giuliani said. So Giuliani knew when he heard the tape, he knew that Michael Cohen was lying. So now this changes everything for Michael Cohen, because now he's going to be in a lot of trouble, and there's no way that he can get out of it this time. I mean, of course, all the lies are coming out now, because, and it's just going to keep coming out until everything's exposed. Still, Cuomo wouldn't, insisting he remained bound by journalistic integrity. Because somebody else does the wrong thing doesn't mean I'm going to do the same thing, he said. So Cuomo wouldn't, insisting he remained bound by journalistic integrity. But even though Chris Cuomo should never be a journalist, because he does not deserve to be on CNN or anywhere, because of all these lies that are coming out about Donald Trump. Oh, he's this and this. No. He's not what people are claiming or targeting him to be. People are saying, oh, he's racist, he's this, he cheated on Melania. Please get real. It never happened. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway, who last week announced her resignation, participated in a 32-minute interview with Cuomo the following month, in which they discussed the tapes. While Cuomo pressed Conway to talk about Stormy Daniels, she pushed him to address the 2-hour tape that captured his talk with Cohen. So Kellyanne Conway, who is leaving, is her last day tomorrow on the 31st, so she's leaving the White House. She went on the show, and Cuomo pressed Conway to talk about Stormy Daniels. She pushed him to address the 2-hour tape that captured his talk with Cohen. So while he's trying to get her thoughts on things, she's pressing him about the 2-hour tape. Flipping the script between guest and host, Conway repeatedly pressured Cuomo to tell his audience what was said on the tape. So she's trying to get him to say what was on those tapes. Because remember, there's 12 of them. And one of them does have Chris Cuomo and Michael Cohen on that tape. That is nearly 2 hours long. Tons of stuff, he said at one point. Cuomo then explained why he would not talk about the tape publicly. So Cuomo didn't want to talk about the tape because he was afraid that we would know something. And the fake news media, they're always hiding everything from us, so because they don't want us to know what's going on. They're making us look stupid and thinking that we don't know what is really going on. But Chris Cuomo said there was tons of stuff on there. But who knows what's on that tape? He asked me not to record it. I said I won't, Cuomo said. He said, just to be careful, let me have your phone. I said, here. He then said, we'll take our phones. I'll put them away. He did. He then recorded me on a secondary device. So secretly, I guess either Cuomo or Michael Cohen, one of them two, pressed the record button on a phone, I guess, to record the conversation. And of course Cuomo said, he asked me not to record it. I said I won't. He said, just to be careful, let me have your phone. I said, here. He then said, we'll take our phones. I'll put them away. He did. Alright, so it had to be Michael Cohen that pressed the record button on the phone then, because Chris Cuomo gave his phone to Michael Cohen to hold on to. Asked how he felt about it, Cuomo said Cohen's actions were dishonest and a bad thing to do. Yeah, so Michael Cohen's been lying all this time, but we know Chris Cuomo is a liar too, so you really can't trust neither of them. But he was asked how he felt about it, and Cuomo said Cohen's actions were dishonest. Cuomo claimed he has nothing to worry about on the tape, but then suggested there is a reason why Conway and the Trump team would want it disclosed. Yeah, so Cuomo claimed that he has nothing to worry about. Well, he better have plenty to worry about, because everything's on that tape now, and it's all gonna come out either way. So we don't know what the conversation is about. It has something to do with Russia. It has something to do with Stormy Daniels and that other woman, Karen McDougal, which I never heard of before in my life. So now that Michael Cohen has been dishonest about everything, hopefully now something will be done with him. You know what we talked about in the conversation? I'm not going to tell you. You know why? Because it was off the record, and I respect that. Even though he did me wrong. That's called integrity, Cuomo said. Apparently, it was not off the record. It was on the record, because the phone recorded it. Because Michael Cohen pressed the record button. And he said that because it was off the record, and I respect that, even though he did me wrong. That's called integrity. Integrity to what? Allowing yourself to get caught on one of those tapes? Is that what integrity is? I think not. What do you do when people aren't watching? I'm still not going to burn him, even though he did something wrong, Cuomo added. He can answer that for himself. I'll tell you what. There's nothing on it that I'm worried about. I know why you guys want to leak it, but hold on a second. This isn't about me. You tried, you failed. He's on that tape. On there with Michael Cohen, and he's lying about not knowing before these payments. And you should admit it, he added, referring to the taped conversation between Cohen and Trump. Excuse me, but whatever the conversation was between Trump and Michael Cohen was their conversation. But Chris Cuomo just happened to be on that tape. And he's talking about, oh, hold on a second. Is it about me? Yes, it is about him too, because how can you not talk about it when you have talked about it? Whatever Michael Cohen and Donald Trump had talked about, that's their business. And whatever Michael Cohen lied about, Donald Trump will deal with him. But for right now, whatever's on that tape is on that tape. And obviously, it is going to be leaked out no matter what. Because Tucker Carlson is planning on leaking out the information that's on those that's on that tape that's like 2 hours long. From there, the interview turned away from the taped discussion involving Cuomo. So yeah, so now the discussion is turned away from Cuomo. But even though he was on that tape this whole time too, talking about everything, on his show Friday, Carlson gave no other details about what he plans to share about the tape or how he got it. The Fox News host also did not specifically when exactly he will make the disclosure or how much he intends to reveal. So Tucker Carlson is going to reveal it, but he doesn't know how much of it he's going to reveal. But he's not giving no details about when he plans to share about the tape or how he got it. So whatever Tucker Carlson plans on revealing, it's going to be revealed to the entire world. Cohen, who was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison in December 2018, is serving the rest of his 3-year sentence on home confinement after he was briefly sent back to prison in July, following his original release in May due to concerns related to the coronavirus. He plans to release a memoir next month about working for Trump, titled Disloyal, and is expected to participate in an interview with MSNBC host Rachel Maddow. So Michael Cohen did spend 30 years in prison, in federal prison, and this was in December of 2018. Now he has to serve the rest of his 3-year sentence on home confinement. In other words, with an ankle monitor, so he can't go nowhere. After he was briefly sent back to prison in July following his original release in May due to concerns related to the coronavirus. So Michael Cohen is at home on an ankle monitor, so he can't go nowhere. So if he needs something from the store, he's going to have to send his wife or one of his kids to the store to get whatever he needs, because there is no way he's going to go anywhere. And he's talking about releasing a memoir next month. What kind of lies are going to be in that memoir that nobody's going to like? Because, you know, everybody's onto him right now. Everybody knows what he's up to. So, about working for Trump, titled Disloyal. That's the name of his memoir. It's called Disloyal. Of course Michael Cohen was disloyal to Trump. But whatever the conversation was between him and Trump about the Russia thing and whatever else is on there, it's all going to be taken care of either way. And then he plans on going to participate in an interview with MSNBC host Rachel Maddow. And we know MSNBC is a bunch of lying fake news, obviously, because you can't trust them. So whatever lies he's going to tell on there, it's all going to be lies. So hopefully whatever is on those tapes, they're going to come out either way. And Tucker Carlson is going to release that tape, whatever is on there and whatever was said on there, because you can't help it but capture Chris Cuomo's voice on there. So he's part of the problem too. So what more can you ask for? Leave your comments below. I am out.